My job is to warn you of things that are coming. I don't think it is to tell you how to fix it. Although, let's talk about this. Are you a long-term thinker or a short-term thinker?
Try to be a long-term thinker. Many times, particularly meals, I'm a short-term thinker.
Yes, okay, me too. Mm-hmm. Ice cream is in front of me. Very short thinker. Goldfish thinking, okay? Yeah. But if you're a short-term thinker, this next segment, your mood's not going to improve much. If you're a long-term thinker, in half an hour, your mood is going to improve a great deal. Because I don't have an answer. Yesterday, I several times gave you a warning about something, and lo and behold, an answer appears to show you the way to make that happen. And he'll be joining me in just about 30 minutes, so don't go anywhere. Now, do you ever remember merchant marines? I was a merchant marine. When I was a kid, I didn't even know what that was. What the hell is a merchant marine? Is that some sort of a offshoot of the Marines? No, it was just somebody who was working merchant ships, merchant convoys. What are those? Those are just like the big, those big, huge ships that come in with all the, cargo on the back of it, the cargo ships. Those are merchant marines that are running those things. Okay. We had a problem with merchant ships back in the 1930s. As things progress with the Russian war, the more this thing echoes the buildup of World War II. I think we're somewhere between 1936 and 1938, the invasion of the Rhineland and the invasion of Poland. But it's interesting because headlines this week have shown that a cabinet-level secretary of the United States has called for merchant convoys and armed escorts for the LNG ships going from the U.S. to Europe. It's natural gas or propane, okay? It was the Secretary of Energy asking the Secretary of Defense to provide increased security for private naval vessels. Did you know that? Now, they didn't use convoy or escorts, but just want to make sure that the Pentagon is providing some security for these carriers that are on their way to Europe and they need increased security. Now, how are we going to increase security for liquid natural gas with 80,000 tons of displacement? And by law, they can carry no armaments, no defensive system of any kind. See, this is why Nord Stream was so serious, because it's a private infrastructure. And if the Russians claim we did it, then they can claim, well, our private infrastructure is a target as well. So the naval responsibility for all of our shipping security in the Atlantic Ocean falls to a carrier group. A brand new carrier, the most sophisticated carrier ever, the Gerald R. Ford carrier group. Gerald R. Ford doesn't instill confidence in me, but now this has been at sea trials for the last 2 years. It's the newest of our carriers. And it's been, some would say, plagued with issues for their launch system, the electromagnetic launch system, the elevators, the radar system. It comes out of Norfolk, Virginia. So, riddle me this. Is it a coincidence that suddenly, and a few months early, based on previous announcement, the Gerald R. Ford has suddenly been declared, it's combat ready. Oh, no, you know what? We're going to deploy it. What time is it? Soon. In the Atlantic for the very first time. When did they announce that? Literally the day after Secretary Granholm said we need increased security in the Atlantic. Suddenly, the launching system and the radar and all of the... No, it works. It's miraculous. You know what? It was just a light bulb that was out. We just had to switch that one. It's like a Christmas tree. We switched that one light bulb and everything went on. It's fine.
Fix the one light bulb and all of a sudden the missiles hit their targets.
Right. Mm-hmm. Best guess is this is all quietly and informally the U.S. Navy conducting training exercises. And they're going out and they're just coincidentally, they're going to just be doing a lot of these things, right up next to the natural gas ships. That's it. U.S. Navy will open up dedicated channels with LNG shipping companies, and they will proactively report any security concerns or unknown radar or sub contacts. And it won't be surprising if Shell and Chevron and Exxon all quietly decide, you know what, we're going to sail right next to that carrier group. It's great. We have things to see. Ocean's a big thing, and you don't see much, so we're going to do that. Just watch the movie Greyhound. It's on Apple. Tom Hanks was in it, about the Allied convoy running through German U-boats. See, that's how they get. It's on Apple. You can watch it. It's really good. But that's how it was happening in World War II. Submarines were coming out and sinking all of the things that we were sending to Europe, which brings me to another coincidence. Oh, man, you're just not going to believe this. But one of Russia's nuclear-powered submarines has reportedly vanished from its Arctic harbor. And NATO says it's concerned it could be gearing up to test its advanced weapons systems. Now, it's in the Atlantic, and it's a submarine. Pay no attention to the last story, because it's really great. Advanced systems, in fact, the system is called the... You're going to love this. It is... The Poseidon, it's called the Poseidon, the missile system, but it is known as the Armageddon weapon. I love that. So what is it? Well, the submarine is top shelf, brand new, and it has the Poseidon torpedo, which is a nuclear torpedo. And this torpedo is kind of strong. Just to put it into perspective for you. The Fat Man nuclear bomb dropped on Nagasaki by the United States, that was 21 kilotons. Remember that? Vaporize. Whoa. Okay, 21 kilotons. So a megaton is 1,000 kilotons. So what we dropped with Fat Man was 21 kilotons. So it'd be 21,000 megatons, right? I think it's a lot. Okay, it's a lot. 21 kilotons. A megaton is 1,000 kilotons. The estimates on the weapon of the apocalypse have ranged from 2 to 100 megatons. 100 megatons. Now, that's a lot. That's a lot. But here's the thing. They're not missiles like you know them to be missiles that, just go up into the sky and then vaporize a city. These do something special. They're Poseidon. And so they are like drones, except not in the sky. They're underwater. And these drones can go down, be launched from the sub, and then go down and sit on the bottom of the ocean, let's say by a shoreline. And one of them would do it, but they could launch many of these from one sub, and they all sit up and down the shoreline. And then they wait for the signal. And when the sub gives them the signal, they blow them up. And it's capable of creating a 1,600-foot tidal wave. Now, The bad news is wipe a lot of people out. The good news is, in some ways, I guess, man-made climate change, affecting the oceans. When man puts something down that'll, it's like 7,000 degrees instantly, we're going to wipe out the shorelines.
I'm against that kind of climate change for sure.
I am too.
Yeah.
I am too. I am too. So they lost that submarine. It's out there someplace.
Well, they watch it.
Well, they were watching.
They were watching.
And then it disappeared. I love that. Coming from NATO, when they say, and this is a quote, it disappeared. I don't think it disappeared. I'd like you to try for another word because I don't think it disappeared. I think you weren't watching it.
Right. We were all turned around. There was a cake. There was a birthday that day. Everyone was singing happy birthday.
It just disappeared.
Candles blew out. We turned around. It was gone. And that new employee, Vladimir, was, he had a happy birthday, but we did lose the sub.
So I'd like to think that maybe this submarine is out just trolling the waters, looking for the natural gas that we're shipping. But that's not what it does best. Not what it does best. So hopefully their systems will work as well as our catapult on the USS Gerald Ford.
It's funny. I feel like people are acting crazy all the time. This is just a general sense of the world right now is that people are acting crazy. Part of that might be the craziness of the world, right? Like people are really unsure as to what the future holds.
Yeah.
Unsure how to stop it. Unsure how to react. There's nothing solid right now.
Right. Whoa. It's almost like everything that you thought was solid is liquid. It's true. Mm-hmm. You don't know any norms anymore. People are afraid to have conversation because they don't know. Am I going to say something that somebody all of a sudden is offended and then my life is over? It's really not a good thing. But the good news is we've gone through this before. The world has gone through things like this before. None usually end well, but in the end, good things happen. In the end, after it's all over, good things happen. You just got to get to the other side.